Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this comparison between the Tatra T813 and the ZiKZ 605R. So we will be looking at the heavy hauling power, ground clearance, turning circle, add-ons and trailers, so let's catch up with the Tatra footage. Great, so now we're going to look at ground clearance for both the ZiKZ and the Tatra. And from the looks of things, I mean, it helps that the ZiKZ has much bigger wheels, but it also has a greater ground clearance. But the good thing about both trucks is their articulation levels are really great, especially the ZiKZ. The axles will just ebb and flow as you need them to, which makes them, they're pretty good all rounders for not getting stuck on things. They can both climb and crawl up hills. Yeah, they're good stuff. Now we're going to have a look at the steering. So, I mean, the ZiKZ is pretty massive, so I'm not holding out much hope for this. So we're going to go full lock, low range, full gas. I mean, it's actually all right. I think it's better than the majority of the Azov trucks. We'll stick a dink in there. We'll not. We've got that pallet as a marker. Then I'll bring the Tatra across. The Tatra is very unique in this regard. Alright, so we're in the Tatra. Same again. Low range, max lock. You notice the Tatra's got heavily cambered wheels. So ideally it should be really good at turning. It's a bit like a drift car. But as you can see, the pallet is normally under that 12'6" sign. It doesn't actually turn as well as the big ZiKZ, which is very unusual. Well, in terms of like a 190-degree turn. But typically, when it's on its own or it's got like a flatbed, the steering is pretty good. It can be a little, you can oversteer it quite easily, given the wheels, but on the spot going slowly, maybe not so great. Now we'll take a look at add-ons and trailers. Okay, looking at the customization options for the Tatra, so we've got a few different engine types, a few different gearbox types. Suspension doesn't change. A few options for tires, although I'd opt for the MSH1. At the moment, I just have a stock heavy winch, engageable diff lock, snorkel for deep water, because the engine is quite low down, so if you were to go through like a river, you would potentially take damage. But for add-ons, you've got saddle high, the roof rack, which comes with 450 repair parts and 160 spare litres of fuel, and the sideboard bed, which is unique to this truck, makes it look very compact and could carry 2 cargo. Looking at the ZiKZ, it's, similar things again, a few different engine types, a few different gearboxes, suspension doesn't change, can't change the tires, they are what they are, and they're pretty good. I do have the extended heavy winch, I wouldn't trust the fact that it says autonomous in there. Snorkels, you've got 2 options and they sit just as you can see there, just under the roof rack. And this can have a greater variety of add-ons from cranes, log loaders, flatbeds. Flatbeds, it's pretty far back and high up. You got the van body, also very high, but coupled with the amount of repair points it can carry on the roof, that'd be what, 1400, and 6 spare wheels. Log in, side bit vibrator module, sideboard fuel, saddle high, no saddle low. This is the trunk repair supplies on the roof. And the spare wheel option, which adds 2 spare wheels and 40 litres. But note that with this configuration, as I'll show you now, it does limit some of the trailers that you can take. So you can't take the heavy duty oil tanker trailer with this. If we just have a look. So with the the super heavy trailer, it's sort of alright. Obviously it can tow. It's got a tow hook on the back. Regular trailers are fine, but when we get to, say, find it. There. You see? The tanker sort of meshes through, so it can't actually transport that, which is a shame. One thing to note is that this truck does not do very well with this type of trailer, the 5 cargo. Because there's not much play in where the pin is, it will end up like locking up the truck because there's no flexibility in there at all. And there's a rocket train, as you do. But apart from that, everything else should be fine. Just don't use it as a tanker, and it'll be all good. And now for the Tatra's trailers, so much the same. Because there's no limit to anything on the back, it can tow, well, anything that's on a high saddle, and it has a pin on the back for carrying stuff, for towing trailers. So yeah, no issues there, so very versatile for trucking and trailering. And they both haul pretty well for the heavy stuff, as I've done the heavy testing for both of them, and I will go through those results next. So this is a graph that may be familiar to some, as it is the graph from my best heavy hauler video, but now it has been updated to include the Tatra and the ZiKZ, and as you can see, the Tatra is now the fuel efficiency king, beating the Azov 6. Its only downside was its speed when hauling the oil tank semi-trailer, as a lot of trucks did struggle with that one. However, the ZiKZ, though, is the 3rd best for fuel efficiency and 4th best for time taken, making it a really good all-rounder. Coupled with its roof rack providing lots of repair points and spare fuel, this could be the ultimate distance heavy hauling truck. Onto the final scores on the doors then. So if we discount the add-ons, the ZiKZ was the fastest overall, with the biggest ground clearance and the smallest turning radius. The Tatra scored points in fuel efficiency, but unfortunately it's also more expensive than the ZiKZ, in that you have to buy it as DLC and then chunk out over 200,000 for it, whereas the ZiKZ you can find in the world for free. All you have to do is repair it. And this means that the ZiKZ 605R is the winner of the comparison, and most likely one of the best, most versatile heavy trucks in Snowrunner. So if you found this comparison guide useful, please let me know down below with a like and a comment, and maybe even subscribe for more Snowrunner content. And as always, have a great day.